Educational, informative, controversial content to keep you free. This is Radio for Freedom.
Hello and good day. This is Radio for Freedom with a little news brief. Yesterday, the city leaders of Orlando, including Buddy Dyer, had a vote on raising your property taxes. The vote was unanimous. The leaders decided to increase your property taxes by 17.7%. In my book, I call that 20%. That's a big increase. People on fixed income that own their house, and even people that rent, are going to bear this burden and have to pay it. Landlords are going to have to raise their rent to cover the property taxes for people that are least able to afford this increase. According to Buddy Dyer, he wants to make Orlando a world-class city. It seems like he's making Orlando a world-class city on the backs of the taxpayers. A lot of people in Orlando, when you talk about it, they say, well, don't worry about it. It's a tourist tax. Tourist taxes are paying for these improvements. Well, if it's a tourist tax and the tourists are paying for it, why did we get a property tax increase of 17.7%? In my book, that's 20%. That's a lot of money that people are going to have to come up with and pay. Some people on a fixed income are going to have to choose between their medication, their food, or paying the Buddy Dyer tax. I guess Buddy is really not our buddy. Buddy wants Orlando to be a world-class city, and on his agenda is a lot of projects that cost millions and millions of dollars. First on his list, he wants to beautify Orange Avenue right in front of City Hall at a cost of $1.2 million. He wants City Hall to look better. He had mentioned he had wanted it to look like the new Dr. Phillips Center. The Dr. Phillips Center is another boondoggle that we're going to have to pay for. The cost of that center is $386 million. Can you say that without choking? I almost did. I kind of staggered when I saw that number on my yellow pad here. Additionally, Buddy Dyer, he wants to renovate the Citrus Bowl, which he's already done. That cost the taxpayers $207 million. Another staggering amount. In reference to the Citrus Bowl, he wants to build a soccer stadium. I guess the Citrus Bowl wasn't good enough for the rich owners of the soccer teams, and they wanted a new stadium. I guess the stadium I think it's going to overlook a lake, and it's going to be very trendy, but that cost was only $15 million. That seems a little low. No, that cost is $110 million. I was looking at the wrong numbers. There's so many numbers here on Buddy's list of improvements, I get them all confused. So the new soccer stadium, $110 million to make the soccer team owners happy, and probably to make them rich, if they're not rich enough. I mean, do you own a sports team? No, I don't. Well, I tell you what, you're going to be paying for a soccer stadium for the team owners. And when you go watch a soccer team play at the stadium you paid for and you built, you're going to have to buy a ticket. And that money's going to go to the team owners. So what a deal. I wish I could make a deal like that. I've struggled most of my life. I never got a break like that. In addition to the soccer stadium, the city and the city leaders and Buddy had a snafu. Where they originally wanted the soccer stadium was where a church was, and the church didn't buy into the soccer stadium, and this church would not sell its property to the city of Orlando and Mr. Buddy. The cost of this boondoggle of not be able to put the soccer stadium where our leaders wanted it is $15 million, because evidently they had to acquire additional land and redraw the whole project to make it work, and that was an additional cost of $15 million. Wow, this is enough to really set you off, all these costs. I don't know how we're going to pay it. I don't know how the taxpayers are going to pay it. I don't know how the tourists are going to pay it. I don't know how anybody's going to pay it. These are staggering amounts of money. But we're being forced to pay it. Our city leaders have voted unanimously to fund these projects, and they voted unanimously to increase our taxes. Now, I take that back. I don't know if they voted unanimously for all these projects, but nonetheless, these projects did pass. They're in the works. They're being built right now as we speak. But they did approve the 17.7% property tax increase that you and I are going to have to pay for. They're using force on us to pay these property taxes. If property taxes are not high enough, just hang on. They're going to get higher. And for what? So Buddy can stroke his ego and create Orlando as a world-class city? Well, I don't know if you can buy your way to the top, Mr. Buddy, but you're certainly trying to, and you're asking for the taxpayers to pay for it. I think that's unfair. I think it's unjust. And I hope the taxpayers revolt. I hope they don't pay your 17.7 tax increase. What are people going to do that are on a fixed income? Are they going to choose between food, medication, and paying your tax? 20% is too much, Mr. Buddy Dyer. You're not our buddy, and you're not a buddy of Orlando, and you're certainly not a buddy of Central Florida. I hope you're not reelected. I hope you have to go out and work for a living and sit instead of sitting up there in your office in the air conditioning, thinking of ways to spend our money and asking us how to pay for it. This is outrageous. I hope the taxpayers rise up. I hope they raise hell. And I hope you get yourself in a lot of trouble for this. This is outrageous. Thanks. Have a good day. Goodbye.